Shalom. Welcome to A Taste of Torah with Rabbi Carol. Our parsha today is entitled Miketz. My voice has been gone most of the week. It's back today, so I hope I will get through this. So it begins in Bereshit, Genesis chapter 41. And our Aliyah, the first section of the parsha that we're looking at this week, is verses 1 through 14 of chapter 41. And these verses contain the dreams of Pharaoh. This passage is familiar to most people who have read the Bible. Pharaoh has two dreams. One dream is of cows, the other is of ears of corn. And what happens is there is these huge, healthy, fat-looking cows that come out of the river, but after them come these thin, scraggly-looking cows who look so unhealthy, but these unhealthy-looking cows devour the healthy. And then the ears of corn, again, luscious looking ears of corn. Oh, they look so delicious. But after them comes out these sickly looking ears, and you got it, they devour the healthy ones. Pharaoh is fit to be tied. What do these dreams mean? He has no idea. He calls for his court magicians, for his wise men, but no one can interpret the dreams for Pharaoh. So then his cupbearer remembers Joseph. And he tells Pharaoh about him. And I'm going to read from the last verse of the Aliyah for this week. Vayishlach Paro vayikra et Yosef. And Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph. And the rest of the verse says, and he was rushed from the dungeon. He had his hair cut and changed his clothes, and he appeared before Pharaoh. Wow, what a verse. What does that say to you? I'll tell you what it says to me. There are two things that verse encourages me with. First is God does not forget us. Here Joseph is in dungeon, in a prison. And sometimes we forget what prison must have been like. We read about how Joseph found favor and he was put in charge of the other prisoners, but he was still in prison. It was not a 5-star hotel. It was not a nice place to be. And so here he was in this prison, but God did not forget him. God knew where Joseph was, and God had his plan still for Joseph's life. The second thing it tells me, and when it says, and he was rushed out of the dungeon, is that suddenly things changed for Joseph. Here he was in prison, and the next thing you know, he's standing before the mightiest, most powerful man in the land. Suddenly had happened for Joseph. I've preached on suddenlies here at Beth Emanuel before, but I want to encourage you, like that, things can change for you and me. We cannot be discouraged by what we see. We know Joseph, as we read through the rest of the book of Bereshit, we're going to be focusing on him. We know he was a man of great faith, and even though he went through these hardships, he did not give up on what God had spoken. I want you to be encouraged that God has not forgotten you. Just like he knew where Joseph was, he knows where you are. And his plans for your life have not changed. And I want you to know that God can work suddenly in your life. What is here right now can be changed in a moment, in a second. You could be in a completely different situation with things turned around for your good. I want to encourage you to believe that God is with you, he hasn't forgotten you, and that he will do it suddenly in your life. So I hope to see you this week if you're here on Long Island. You're located at exit 61 of the Long Island Expressway. This weekend, December 24th, 2022, we are meeting an hour earlier. Our service starts at 10 a.m. We're having our Hanukkah celebration after service, so please come at 10 this weekend. If you're not here on Long Island, we will be streaming, but an hour earlier. So get up early and join us on Facebook or YouTube. God bless you. Bye-bye.